visit on other forums. So, welcome to this webinar on AI for business analysts. I believe all of you must be getting tons of emails, messages, LinkedIn events on AI. I, in fact, happened to be at the BBC that concluded about a week back in Orlando, and it was a great event. Something around 600 BAs from around the world joined the event, and 50% of the events were devoted to AI. So obviously, it's a topic which is kind of is fascinating. Sometimes it's also a little bit of a worrisome factor for many of us to know what is this happening, how is it going to affect our jobs, career prospects, and how do we kind of get started on this AI journey. Some of you may know me already. My name is Alan Mishra. I am the principal business analyst and trainer at Adaptive US. And I also have been dabbling a little bit on AI stuff, especially for some of our projects. We're trying to leverage AI. I will show that. We are also trying to create a GPT for business analysts. Hopefully, maybe another 3 months' time, we will be able to release that GPT and you guys can use it as well. Okay, so where are you joining from? Let me see. I think something around 55. No, it's 115 people who have joined. So where are you guys from? Okay, let me see. Oh, Q&A is working. So please use Q&A because the chat doesn't seem to work. Anybody from Singapore? No? It'll be hard because it's very late in the night. I'll be surprised to see somebody from Singapore. But I believe many of you may be coming from US, Canada. Nadine has said, okay. Okay, from where? Ontario, South Africa, Pennsylvania. Great. I think good to see you, all of you here today. And as always, I always encourage people to join the webinars, learn something new. I personally try to join many webinars, especially on the new topics that is coming in. And whenever possible, try to join the live sessions as well, like the BBC and such kind of conferences also are very valuable for any business analyst on his or her learning path. Okay, so in a nutshell, it's not going to be very technical session. So don't get afraid. I'm not going to show you any source code or anything like that. We are trying to use AI for basic things that we continue to do, like generating requirements, documenting our discussions. This is what I'm trying to do today because I am not an AI expert as such, but I'm more on a practical usability aspect of AI, which I believe all of us should become comfortable with. So a very quick intro about AI, and I think all of us hear a lot of noise around AI, especially a lot of noise has come in because of something called generative AI. If I remember, maybe about 2 years back, I was talking to a technical partner company and I had one unique problem in mind. So my problem was I studied BA work, and in BA work, there is a suggestion saying generalize your requirements. That's what I was trying to do. And when I spoke to that gentleman and I explained that this is what I'm looking for, I write something in project context, but I want the system to kind of generalize it. So instead of saying, say, for example, convert USD to CAD or USD to AUD, it would rewrite the sentence saying convert currency. That was my requirement to do a requirement translation, or you can say requirements generalization. That gentleman, that time, 2 years back, told me, what you're looking for is something called generative AI. I said, oh, okay, that's a new term for me. Then I think about 1.5 years back, the OpenAI company came up with ChatGPT, and then I think lots of us have started using ChatGPT, and I trust some of you may already be using ChatGPT for certain kind of work. And today we are going to explore how do we use ChatGPT to do certain amount of requirements related work. I'll try to answer some of your questions to best of my abilities. And again, as I put a disclaimer in the beginning, I'm no AI expert. So please don't be so worried about the semantics of AI. This is ML, this is AI. It's very hard to distinguish all those things. Although, in principle, what I understand is largely AI is something that has ability to do certain things which earlier we considered difficult for a computer, like understand an image, understand voice. These kind of things were very hard for computers, literally uh, impossible for computers to do some time back. But now it's kind of getting smarter day by day. It has a lot of data. So using that, it is actually able to understand human voice. It's also able to understand the surroundings, like you would have seen self-driving cars, which can understand the surroundings. They can see a few other cars coming on the way, a pedestrian on the way. So those kind of abilities have started coming into computers and at an affordable price point. See, capabilities can always exist, but if they're utterly expensive, then it's very difficult to commercialize it. So now things can be made commercial aspects about these things at a price point where companies can start looking at implementing such solutions. So I will also tell you some of the solutions that we are trying to build at Adaptive using AI. Okay, as usual, we do have a offering for you. If you have joined this webinar, I am going to give you a coupon at the end of the webinar. And using that coupon, you can get an extra month of access to any of our products that you buy sometime in next 1 week's time. I trust all of you know a little bit about Adaptive. I'm just going to take a minute. We are one of the world's leading IIBA endorsed education provider. We seem to be having about 7% global market share, and there are probably more than 100, 150 EEPs operating throughout the world. So that's a fairly good market share to aspire for. And we do offer all 7 certification trainings, on-demand courses, live courses, on-premise courses, depending on what the customers are looking for. And this is me. You can see I'm a practicing BA for close to 25 years. Then I have assisted more than 1,800 professionals to get ILB certified, which I would consider a world record by itself. And I also happen to have completed all 7 IIBA certifications as the very first BA in this world. So it's hard for somebody else to take over that unless IIBA comes up with an 8 certification scheme, which I doubt IIBA will come up. In fact, I was requesting IIBA leadership team in this forum, the conference that we had, to create something, a certification on AI for business analysts. But the leadership team felt that no, this is not the right time to do it. Maybe sometime in future they may do it. Okay, so just a quick question. How many of you have tried something to do with ChatGPT? Some of you must have done. Okay. One second. I am sharing my entire screen. Um, oh, Copilot as well. Okay, some of you say yes, some of you saying no at all. Okay, never used it before. I haven't used Copilot. That's again another product from Microsoft. But most of you are saying yes, which is actually a good thing because it's always good to understand new tools, their capabilities, also know their limitations. So just don't believe that there's something like a magic wand and it will solve all our problems without any issues. It's not like that. We still have to be careful about what we get out of ChatGPT. And all of you might have heard something called prompts, prompt engineering. There's a lot of discussion around that. So we will talk a little bit about it. I'm not a prompt engineer by profession, but I'm trying to use ChatGPT to get my work done. So obviously, as I said, the ability of the computers to behave or almost mimic human beings in terms of interpreting images, interpreting sounds, generating images, generating content, generating videos, all these are possible today. We do use at Adaptive, we use the content generation piece quite a lot. Like a lot of our blogs are kind of drafted by ChatGPT and tools similar to ChatGPT. And then we, of course, edit it and publish it. And for some time, I thought maybe Google will penalize us for that. But some of the blogs that we wrote using ChatGPT and other such tools, they're actually quite high. In fact, some of the terms are very competitive, and we are still able to rank because the content is of high quality and it has been edited properly before being published. So, like someone very nicely said, treat AI as a very enthusiastic. Sorry, I think someone changed the video setting. 1 second. Where did it go? I clicked something, I think. 1 second. Yeah, I think I'm back. So please treat AI as a very eager intern. So the intern will do a lot of work for you, but may not be the best quality of work that you are looking for. But it does not take the value away from the intern. So let's remember that because the intern is doing a lot of legwork for us. So we take the output from the intern and then we edit it and then we give it to our stakeholders. I have not really used AI for generating videos. Although a lot of people say that you can. I think I did a couple of them a couple of days back, and the quality wasn't very bad. So I think, and it also gave me the ability to edit the video script and all. So after that, it's kind of okay. Good. So I believe this is a slide which all of you would have seen. Am I sharing my screen? 1 second. Just 1 second. Are you able to see my screen, like the BA knowledge areas? Okay, okay, very good. I'm thankful. Okay. So I believe this is a very simple framework which BA Box suggested to us, saying that as business analysts, we should be able to do all these knowledge areas quite well, starting with planning and monitoring, elicitation, requirements lifecycle management, something called strategy analysis, requirements analysis, and solution evaluation. In fact, out of this six knowledge areas, two knowledge areas I have really explored AI quite a lot, which is about elicitation and analysis. So these two areas, AI can be very beneficial. I really haven't found any way to use strategy analysis or solution evaluation. At this point in time, I still don't have any clue about them. And remember, AI is changing every hour as we speak. What I speak now, maybe this information is about few days old. Um, Tomorrow or next week, you may say something new. So I have these abilities. Like, say, for example, for a very, very long time, maybe about 5 years, not less than 5 years, I was trying to get a software which can do typing work for me. I am not a good typist and I don't like typing on a computer keyboard. So I always thought if there can be a software which can hear me out and then type it on its own, it would be so nice. No, I don't have to type it. And it actually started becoming quite realistic about a year and a half back. And now I actually extensively use computer voice recognition software. There's something that I pay about $7 a month, something like that. And that can type in whatever transcription I'm talking to you. it will type in. I think Zoom also would have that feature where it will automatically transcribe whatever I am saying. I believe that ability is already there in Zoom. So that itself is very interesting thing for us as a BA. Because anytime we're holding a meeting, the meeting can be auto-transcribed, auto-summarized as well. So imagine the amount of time you'll save by having these capabilities with you. And there has been a very interesting saying, no? Will AI replace BAs? One big question. But the answer is very simple. AI may not replace us, but a BA using AI can replace us. So obviously, one who is leveraging these tools becomes a lot more productive compared to people who do not leverage the tools. And there are a lot of aspects about BA which is human centric, which may require data, computation. Those kind of things are probably a little hard to do at this point in time. I can't predict future beyond 3 years. When after 3 years, what will happen? It will be very difficult to predict. So at least for next 3 years, I really don't think like people have been talking about software programs being completely automated. I really don't see it. Even we still have a lot of programmers doing programming by hand. But maybe I hear that there are tools available now which can almost elevate a programmer to be capable of doing work like five programmers. So that could happen. So BAs will become super BAs because one BA can do a lot of work which maybe was required 2 or 3 BAs in the past. So that way, obviously, there will be some impact on marketplace, some impact on organizational structure, but let's not worry about that aspect now. Let's keep ourselves updated. Whoever is interested to go ahead, learn new things, they will learn new things. Those who don't want to learn new things, they obviously will have challenges. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I am taking the same 6 knowledge areas, translating it into 30 tasks as per PA and I'm going to show you some of the tasks that you can take advantage of AI. Okay, so first things first, let's look at the planning area. So obviously, in the past, we could do Google search as well. But the Google search output was kind of clunky, if you remember, and many of times you may get 20 listings saying these are things, but it doesn't give you a clean, summarized view. Whereas if I go to ChatGPT now, say for example, I just go back, 1 second. Let me go and share my screen with you and go to ChatGPT. I believe some of you might have a paid license as well. It's always good to use a paid one. So I'm just going to say, ask for provide me with important regulations for the banking industry in the US. Let's see. So I'm a new BA. I'm starting out my work and I have been assigned a project in the banking industry, and I want to find out the regulations that exist in the industry. So let me see, it's kind of taking a little time. And also remember the interesting thing, just below when you're searching, it's very clearly saying ChatGPT can make mistakes. Consider checking important information. So remember, AI can make mistakes. Okay. And what we need to do is to make sure that we review. 1 second, 1 second. Oh, okay. So this is again another AI software that I use to read out documents for me. So you can actually listen to the document instead of reading the document. It will kind of ease your eyes a little bit. Uh, so that's good. So if you observe now what it has done, it has actually pulled up the regulations. And if you can see here, one, two, three, four, five, six major regulations it has provided. And once you read this, suppose you want to get a little bit more details about Sarbanes-Oxley Act, which I believe many of you would know. That act was enacted because people did fraud activities with their financial statements, and that's where the regulation came in. But you can actually go deeper into, maybe if you're interested, and say describe SOX Act in say 500 words. I'm just taking one. You could get it as many details as you like. Um, okay. So to the extent of detail that you want, high level, low level, you want to present something to your stakeholders in 100 words, 500 words, whatever you want, it can actually produce it for you. And after this draft is produced, please remember you read it and try to verify whatever the draft is telling you. Does it sound like true? Maybe you can consult one more person or expert in your team to see if whatever we got here is actually true. Because sometimes it can actually create quite unstable or incorrect information for us. Okay. Similarly, you can use ChatGPT to identify stakeholders for your project. Okay. So here I want to kind of make a quick distinction between what AI can do and what AI cannot do. So remember, AI understands and summarizes the internet quite well. That's how the whole ChatGPT came up. It understands data available on internet and it is able to summarize it for us. But it does not understand our company. Okay, so please remember that. It understands internet very well, but it does not understand our company. So we as business analysts understand our company. That's how our value comes. So if you have very deep knowledge of your own organization, you can actually add significant value to what ChatGPT is bringing you. So it's kind of bringing in generalized information from internet, and you apply your specialist knowledge into that information, and that becomes a potent combination. But if you do not develop any deep expertise on your own organization, then your knowledge is as good as generic knowledge that is available on internet. So please make sure that you understand your organizational interfaces very well. What are the policies that the company follows? What are the rules that the company follows? Who are the stakeholders inside the company? This kind of information, ChatGPT or any other AI tool cannot bring to you. So similarly, you can use it to identify risks. And in fact, when I picked up the risk list from ChatGPT, it appears to be an article that I wrote about 6, 7 years back on LinkedIn. Mostly it copies that content into this. So it probably does a Google search behind and it's doing something like that. Okay. So you can use it for any question that you have in your mind. You can use ChatGPT to get an answer on that. Okay. The major thing that I see AI helping us with is actually in requirements elicitation. This is where it is going to be hugely different compared to what we did in the past. And I call this as document analysis on steroids. Okay. Which means now the technique that we knew called document analysis is really on steroids. So the kind of documentation, user stories, acceptance criteria uh, ChatGPT can build would be amazingly different. And I would show you a document that I created using ChatGPT. And of course, you have to give structured information. Um, Wait a second. Yeah, this one. I can send this document to you as well. This has some sample prompts. Nothing like astonishingly different. But I kind of started creating requirements for a learning management system because we are in learning management space, and I understand this space a little bit because it's been 10 years plus into this space. So I said, okay, let me validate how good is the output coming from AI compared to what I would have created. So I started giving some prompts, okay, saying that give me requirement specifications for a learning management system. It actually started pulling up quite nice functional requirements. It pulled up non-functional requirements. It pulled up compliance requirements. It pulled up strategic requirements. Um, it also tried to give some kind of a structure to the content. Then I actually asked it something like this. Can you take the first response and write 10 important user stories? Just to see how many user stories it actually creates for the first requirement. And it actually started creating nice user stories you can see here. Like as an administrator, I want to create user profiles. Natural. So that I can add new students, instructors, and staff to the system. So it started writing 10 user stories because I asked it to write 10 user stories. So if you say write 100 user stories, it will write 100 user stories for you. Of course, there will be some cost associated, but it can generate at a very low cost approach. Then I actually asked it to kind of design a simple prototype, and it started creating some kind of a login screen and all, but the prototype visualization wasn't very good. But I believe there are now new AI plugins available which can do this visualization for you as well. Okay. So we would be able to create some sample prototypes based on whatever data we have already collected through AI. And that will probably become one automated process sometime in future. So, okay. So it tried creating some kind of a visual prototype, but it wasn't very good. Then I asked it to create a data model. Now, see, you can actually ask anything to AI, and if it is getting some input from internet, it will give you. So it actually created the data model for me, user, type string, unique, all kinds of things. Then I also asked it, can it make it a tabular form? Okay. Um, I said, make a tabular form for me. Now you can see here, it actually created a fairly good data dictionary for my project. Okay, so you can see here field, type, constraints, description, quite nice. Okay, then I actually asked it saying, okay, can you write some exceptional user stories? Okay, which is what many people call it as edge cases, and they give a lot of names. So I'm calling it as exceptional scenarios. And it actually created some nice exceptional scenarios for me. And some of them I myself wouldn't probably consider because the domain that I'm working, it does not require all of them. But maybe for your domain, it might actually be required. Like, say, for example, as a user, if I attempt to log in from a new device or location, so you can actually give some context to the GPT as well, saying I am working in a banking, highly secure application. Then it will start suggesting you requirements based on your context. So you can provide a good context and it will remember that context for you and it will work on that context. And I'm quite sure individually I wouldn't have considered this requirement or I wouldn't have considered this requirement. See, let's think it in this way. Just because it is giving some requirement, do we implement? Maybe not. But at least we are aware that such requirements can exist, and in our context, will it make sense? So it's always the human who will kind of decide whether this is important or not so important. But this is very nicely done. I also write about misuse case, which I think some of you might have heard the term. So it actually started giving misuse cases like unauthorized user attempting to execute login function. Um, Okay, so it kind of gave me some outputs. Further action. Okay, so I tried to create a prototype. I think prototype wasn't very good. Uh, I didn't like it so much, but I believe uh, these prompts will change and the capabilities of GPTs will improve and they will actually be able to give you nice prototypes, flowcharts, which I've seen now. Like there are GPTs which can produce flowcharts for us. Okay, so it wasn't very good. Okay, although it hinted about what kind of things you may need, like search and filter, privacy considerations. Okay. Then prototype, okay. It gave some generic idea, not so great useful thing. Okay. But look at the non-functional requirement. It started kind of creating detailed non-functional requirements. It gave us test conditions, which we would have to write ourselves. Okay. Security requirements, usability requirements, all kinds of requirements on the non-functional side. Now the interesting story again comes. So then I asked, okay, now can you go ahead and create acceptance criteria for the user login user story? Okay. So it actually started creating acceptance criteria like valid credentials, invalid credentials, account locking, password recovery. Quite nice. Okay. Of course, now I see a lot of products coming with a login function already built in. So you don't have to worry about the login function because people understand it's a feature that is almost common to any application that you see. Responsive design, all kinds of things. Okay. Then I asked it saying that, can you produce this into a Word document? It said, no, I can't. And of course, we did a program in the other side. So I asked one of my friends, and he said he can publish this information either into Excel or Word, whatever format we wish, he can do it for us. So those capabilities, but you have to do a bit of a programming thing. So you need to take help of a person who understands programming. Otherwise, it's saying Control C, Control V. Okay. Again, flowchart, I could not create that time, but now I know there are tools available to do flowcharting as well. Okay. So, okay, it kind of gave me some flowchart generators. At that time, it wasn't there. Um, so now come down. Okay. So it's trying to create a little bit of an extended data dictionary, which is not something what I wanted it to do. So there is a concept called extended data dictionary, which I tried some time back. ChatGPT could not do. So it's still doing a reasonably good bulk hard work, but not to the extent that I'm expecting as per my company's standards. Then it talked about entities, um, okay, concept model it tried to draw, could not do. Okay, mostly diagramming has been a little weak spot. It's natural. We always start with text, then we go to diagram, and then we go to video. That's how the progression always happens. Okay, good. So now we will look at this document. This is a 24-page condensed document. And this whole thing was done in less than 30 minutes. So if imagine if I would have actually asked to do it manually by myself, maybe I would have taken a day, okay, to write a 24-page document. But because I used the AI system, I could finish it in half an hour. And I believe all of us can be 10 times more productive in certain repetitive tasks if we use AI. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. Uh, so you can do so many things on ChatGPT, especially on requirements elicitation front. Okay, a lot of you have raised hands, but I have no way to see how to kind of get this on chat. Chat, I'm not able to see. I will take the questions at the end, so don't worry. Um, Let me just finish it in another 10 minutes or so. So I will have ample time to take your questions. Then, when we come to requirements analysis, so we wrote a lot of stories. There are tools now available which will help us to review the quality of the story. Are we using ambiguous terms? Is the story properly written? How big is the story? Okay. So all this you can use a tool called Scope Master, um, and up to 50 user stories, it's free. So if your project isn't very big, you can use it. And we are an affiliate to Scope Master. Let me put that disclaimer for you. But I find the product to be very interesting because it generates test cases and a lot of things based on your story. So the moment you have stories coming from ChatGPT, then you can feed it into um, Scope Master. Then I also saw one AI extension called Merlin, which can develop process models based on text. So if you describe the process step by step, it will actually generate a process model. But I'm expecting sometime soon we should have ability to take this process model into MSDCO or a very regular diagramming tool where we can further edit. So I strongly believe most of the output that we will get from any of the AI systems will not be production ready or deliverable ready. They will rather be draft versions of the document. Okay, good. So this is what I wanted to cover with you guys today. And I trust all of you know a little bit about Adaptive, and we are in the business of helping you to grow your career. And most of the things that we're trying to do now is to help people to get themselves IIB certified, which is always a good branding exercise, good learning exercise as well, both. So you get a brand, you also get knowledge. And I personally have been through all the IIB certifications. So every time I go through one certification process, I'm definitely learning something new. So this was my request as well to IIB to see if we could publish a book extension on AI and let people study that book. If they don't agree, then we have to figure out a way where any agency can do that for us. Because I believe there is a clear need for people to learn and get certified on AI. So I think these are some of the offerings that we have on our products. So you may be already aware. So these are the kind of people that you will interact with us when you take some of our courses. Laura Patton is on a sabbatical, so she isn't taking sessions for next few months. Victoria regularly takes sessions. Laura regularly takes sessions. Tom also takes regularly. We in fact have a data analytics bootcamp starting in a couple of days' time, and a IIBA BABAP course also starting in a couple of days' time, which are being taken by myself, Victoria, Laura, and Tom. Good. So I think this is it. This is if some of you are interested in IIBA exams, you'll find this one an interesting book. Good. So you can take a note of this webinar code. It's simple. ADAP comes from adaptive. This is webinar, WEB. 24 is the year and 05 is the month. So this is the code for you. In case you want to leverage this code, you will automatically get 1 month extra access. Good. So now let me go back to your questions and see if I can answer some of them. Okay. I will send the document, don't worry. Okay. No, Anna, it's not going to throw us out of our job, but it's definitely going to reduce the amount of work we need to do for sure. And possibly we will be released to do better quality of work. So I'm believing a lot of bull work that we used to do, that's going to be kind of assigned to BA. So most of us have to look at a scenario which is a bit more complex, like environment analysis, external analysis, those kind of things, than writing requirements for login module. That will not be required because functionalities which are common and available in the industry, um, AI will be able to generate to them. In fact, this is something I was speaking with a friend about 5 years back. And he was telling me at that time, Ellen, can we not leverage internet to write requirements? I said, of course we can. But the way we did it wasn't very elegant. Like Google always could find requirements for you, but it wasn't very elegant. Whereas what you get out of ChatGPT is much more elegant output, which you can actually go ahead and use it. Okay, good. Create document and give it link to download it. Okay, works for GPT-4. Very good. Uh, Surely, I will send the document, the prompt document I created. It was a trial for me, so don't worry. It's not hard. Okay. Can we feed our ask? This is okay. Um, Pratha, we actually are doing that into our product, where it will actually not ask you to do it. So it will take all the user stories that you have developed. It will automatically feed it into the system, which I did manually, but that DAGPT can do it automatically. Just that the interface is still very clunky. That's why we are not releasing it till we make an interface which is human friendly. Okay. Of course, Esther, I will send the PPT and Word document. Don't worry. Okay, chat, please. I am not very sure if I am capable of attaching a document. Uh, I don't see the provision here. Uh, Maybe I'll check. No, no, I think it is there. Correct. It's here. Say point your computer. Give me a second. I think I should be able to find the document which I'm showing you. Yeah, this one. Okay. Oh, it's saying network disconnected for some reason. Not a big document. It's giving some trouble with the network. Uh, anyway, since if you have registered, we have your email address. I will send it to all of you. Don't worry. So that part I will take care. It's still not taking it. It's just a 45 KB file. It's not a big file, but it's still saying that network disconnected. Little strange. Okay, then let me go back to the Q&A thing and then see what other questions. Uh, okay, yeah. Dimitri says use plant UML with GPT. Yeah, I think we should try it. There's so many new things coming up. I'll send a transcript of this also. Whatever is useful, I'll send it to you. Hmm. Um, Guntis, I think the diagrams are still not very great at this time. They're not so colorful as I would like them to be, but it's just probably a matter of 2 to 3 weeks' time. The way AI is evolving, most of these things it should be. I have seen process flow diagram coming out of AI. Uh, I think there's a modeling or something like that. It looked okay, not swimlane, but I think maybe people are working on creating more and more diagrams, and hopefully we will have these diagrams also created through AI. So that's surely CDUs. I think we don't have a great provision now. But you can get a CDU for the webinar. Don't worry, because these are related to BA subject. We are not talking anything outside the BA domain. So it should be. I cannot hear anyone. The webinar platform does not allow the students to speak. Only thing you can actually put your question, and I can read the question and try to answer. Okay. Gordon says, one concern is that we need to be careful about what information out there. If we are not using an in-house AI application, there is some risk of revealing proprietary information. I do like the idea of generating content at a high level, which helps me to recognize. True. See, this data mostly has been taken from public domain internet. Um, and public domain internet can have erroneous data. There's no doubt about it. And sometimes it's kind of just predicting, so the prediction may not be correct. But in general, I would say the output that you get is about 90 to 95% okay. So we still have 5 to 10% of work to be done, but it's much better than doing 100% work and forgetting stuff also. No, the human mind also cannot remember a lot of things. Either you can templatize a lot of information, but that's also hard. So maybe sometime in future, I think what one could try is I do have a defined template as per the organization, and I instruct ChatGPT to follow that template. Um, it will try to follow, but remember, it's not bound to follow you exactly as you like. So it may follow partially, it may not follow on some aspects. So again, you have to go back and make sure that whatever information you're looking for, if it has not provided you, try getting it out from GPT. It gets you, okay. If not, then we do it our old manual way. So always have a manual override concept. Okay. Yeah, so I think Thomas says Plan GPT is a good tool for UML process flows. I'm glad. Um, okay. A lot of these questions are not questions, some of them are suggestions as well. Um, okay. Someone said he or she did not pass CCBA 3 years back. If you can write an email, I would definitely like to help you. My email address is ln@adaptiveus.com. Very simple. So please shoot me an email. I will help you out to the extent that I can. Yeah, very good. Thomas says ChatGPT will create the Java code and he uses Plan GPT to create the process flow. Very good. Okay. Oh, wow. So CB says, it was nice to be able to attend this seminar. I was able to create a case study with the help of ChatGPT. It was very impressive and saved a lot of time. I'm very glad people are recognizing the power of AI. Okay. Ganesh says, is there any AI tool available to validate an existing written user story? Of course. I told you Scope Master. Okay. Go to, I think, Scope Master. Go to the website. Let me see. Should be easy to find out. Scope Master. One second. There's so many tabs open for me. Just one second. I have to go to Scope Master. Yeah. So look at this tool called Scope Master. It actually does requirements analysis. So it detects all the problems. It automates your estimation as well. So you can actually try this out. And up to 50 stories, it's free. So there's no cost. Okay, back to our topic. Okay, where are the chat window thing? It's a little hard to navigate between all these things. Okay. Um, Ganesh has an interesting question. Does AI help in product management aspects like roadmap planning? I would believe so, but I haven't tried. So maybe it's worth trying. No, see, have that mindset. Try. Works very good. Doesn't work. Okay. We are in the same position, no? Um, okay. My email address, I will do one thing. I will put it for you guys, and I'm going to send it to everyone. My email address is here. Sorry. I think if you got my email address, it's ln@adaptiveus.com. So we at Adaptive, we are trying to create a platform for blind students, and because it's very hard for blind students to learn at this time, because imagine a world where you don't have a display and you can't see the keyboard as well. So it's very hard for blind learners to learn new topics, which is where we are trying to leverage AI to convert one of our products. We have an assessment product. We're trying to make it audio enabled. So it works completely based on audio input output, but we do have some technical hiccups. It's still not working, but I'm believing that with help of AI, we should be able to resolve that technical issue and then go ahead and publish it. So that would probably be our first AI product in the market. And I'm quite optimistic about it because I haven't heard of any company working on that space. So that's something very nice that we're trying to achieve. It's a little audacious goal, but let's see. Okay, good. So that's all I had for today. Do you guys have any other question that I can answer before we wind up for today? No? Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm letting you go maybe about 8 minutes ahead of schedule. So please enjoy the rest of your day and stay in touch. You can send me an email, or if you are on LinkedIn, you will find me on LinkedIn as well. Just search for Ellen Mishra CBAP. You should be able to find me there as well. Thank you and have a lovely day. And I wish you good luck in anything that you're trying to do at your work and in your life. Thank you. Bye bye.